Okay. Gary.
Yeah.
If you wanted to solve any problem, whether it's drugs and alcohol, whether it's your car, if you wanted to solve a problem, what do you have to do to solve a problem? Okay, you got to know the problem, got to know the solution, got to have a plan of action. Those three pieces to the puzzle. Look, see, we give them to you. Look. Problem, solution, plan of action. If you put those three pieces to the puzzle together, you can solve any problem. It doesn't matter what the problem is. Now, what's your first name, young man?
Patrick.
Patrick, where are you from? What you using?
Arrow.
How?
Intravenous.
You IV-ing?
Yeah.
Okay. How many times have you been to treatment?
Once, a long time ago.
Okay. Have you ever tried solutions on your little heroin problem?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So have you tried to use more?
So,
Less?
Yeah.
Have you tried to quit altogether?
no.
Not yet? So why are you here?
Slow down. I need to stop.
Huh?
Because I need to stop.
Okay. Do you want to?
Oh, yeah.
Huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, if you do, you in the right place. What's your first name, young man?
Gerard.
Where you from?
Boyville.
What you use?
Cocaine.
How?
Oh.
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need no help. I got this. How you using it?
Oh.
Okay. How long you been snorting?
About 3 years.
Have you been to treatment before?
No.
First time?
Yeah.
Why you here?
To get help
Okay. Did you come on your own or somebody sent you?
on my own.
Okay. How many times have you said, this shit's killing me? Okay. How many times have you said, I'm done?
500 times.
Okay. And when you said it, did you mean it? I promise you, you meant it. I promise you, you meant it. And you try to live in your own skin for a couple of days sober. And you start a little buildup between the ears. And the mind tells you, man, fuck, one sure would be good about now. And when you put one in, you like the Energizer Bunny, you're off to the races again. So we got to find a way for you not to put the first one in. I want y'all to turn y'all's bit. No, I tell you what, Madison. When you come in here, we teach you about what? Physical allergy and a mental obsession. Now, what's your first name?
Dylan.
What?
Dylan.
How old are you? About 7? That's right. What you using? How? Okay. Every time you snort the first little bit, right? Put it in your body. Do you stop right there?
No.
What do you want after that? And
Another.
Because every time you put one in, you set this off in your body and it produces a physical craving. Every time you snort the first little line, physically, do you set this allergy off in your body? And does your body start to crave another one? Do you end up on one of these right here? A little spree.
Yeah.
Now, how many of y'all know about these sprees? In the doctor's opinion, he says these sprees have become well known. Because if you have the allergy, the sprees have become well known. Normal people, whatever the hell that is, They don't have this allergy. That's why they can put one in them and stop right there. So these sprees have not become well known to them. What are you using? Okay, if you had 10 rigs ready to go, could you shoot one today, put 9 of them in the refrigerator, and go about your business for a month? Come back and do a second one. Leave 8 of them in the refrigerator. Go about your business for another month. And do that every month for 10 months. What happens every time you shoot the first one? Do you set that off? And does your body start to crave another one? Now, every time you set off the physical craving, your body is now telling your mind what to do, which is go get more. Do you keep ending up on a spree? Now, how many times have you come up off a spree and sang the Alcoholics National Anthem? Do you know what the Alcoholics National Anthem is? That's what it is. How many times have you said that? Huh? A bunch. Now, when you say it, just like him, you mean it. Now, do you try to live in your own skin sober down here for a couple of days, weeks, maybe a month? Do you start to get irritable, restless, discontented? And do you start a little buildup in your mind? And does this obsession kick in with you and overrule everything? Freedom, home, job, kid, hamster, dog. And it tells you to put. Now, when you put one in, that leaves for the moment. Now it becomes physical. Now, how many of y'all in here, you know you got a little drug and alcohol problem, you just don't know what the hell it is? So if you don't know what it is, you will come up with solution after cockamamie solution to a problem you do not. Now, I want you to tell me some of the solutions you've come up with that try to work on your little drug and alcohol problem. Give me some.
Stay at home, not to leave, not to.
Okay, how well that work? Okay, what else? Have you tried the Nancy Reagan program, Just Say No? Huh?
Yeah, I tried.
I know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, how many of y'all come up with solution after solution after solution to a problem you do not understand? Now, how many treatments does this make this time? This is the second one. And how old are you physically? 20? Now, how many times have you, unbeknownst to you, tried to get this out of your head? Look, when y'all come up with solutions, what you're trying to do, you just don't get it yet, is remove. That's what you're really trying to do. Now, how many of y'all, when y'all come up with a solution, when you get back in a corner and you say, I am done, and you mean it? How many of y'all, when y'all come up with y'all solution, at that moment, you think you're so brilliant, you are related to Albert Einstein somewhere down the line? And you say to yourself, Lucille, up here, you say to yourself, why didn't I think of that before? And things go okay for a couple of days, maybe a week, maybe a month, and all of a sudden, bam, this bitch gets you again. You put one back in, you alter the races again, and when you come up for air, you say, how in the hell did I think that shit that I came up with was gonna work? Look, when y'all come up with y'all solution, y'all are all in until you fall flat on your face, which you do every time. Now, the problem. This is the foundation of the whole program called Alcoholics Anonymous. This is the taproot. This is where they have built, because what they know, what we have figured out over the years, if you don't understand this, you will never do this. Now, how many of y'all all in your solutions? Which always, so do this shit. Play like you came up with this. Because if you play like you came up with it, you might try it. Now, since you started snorting cocaine, has it gotten better, stayed exactly the same, or worse? It keeps getting worse. And the worse it gets, the more you got to use. And the more you got to use, the worse it gets. Look, how many of y'all at 20, this is already getting real bad, huh? How old are you physically?
46.
Look, the older someone gets, the worse the physical allergy gets. The older I get, if the allergy gets worse, that means the cravings are getting worse. That means, look, if shit stayed the same, treatment centers would be empty. Now, you got to understand the difference between the mental part and the physical part. Now, what's the date today? The 14th of May? Okay. As of May 14th at 2 p.m., they have not come up with a cure for this. And until they do, we got to work at this. Now, all these years and all these geniuses, if there was a cure for this, I think they would have already found it. Now, millions of us who used to be like you, we over here now and we not like you. Now, it's been 23 years since I put the first one in. But the whole time I've been sober, the physical allergy is getting worse. That's why when somebody gets sober for a little while and they go back out, it's always worse, because the physical part, sober or using, is always getting worse. Now, if the allergy's getting worse, now, how many of y'all keep piling, piling problems on top of problems, on top of problems? And you look up one day and you have more problems than a one-legged woman in an ass-kicking contest. And you say to yourself, how in the hell did I get here? You had a front row seat. You should know how you got here. Now, up to this point, have any of your solutions worked? Now, if you understand this, and that's why when you come into this treatment center, we drill this in and we go through a bunch of drill bits because we're dealing with fucking granite. Because what we know is if you don't get this, you will never get. And what we know is you'll start using again, and we're going to find out about you either dead, covered up, or locked up. Because that's where people like me end up if I don't find. Now, I don't know. You got to figure it out. I can't do it for you. Do you want some damn help? And that's what you got to figure out. And look, You don't have to love me. You don't have to like me. You don't have to sing my next birthday dance. All you got to do is listen to me, because I know what it takes to make it work. Now, you at this moment don't know. Now, you want some help?
Yes, sir.
Don't get too enthusiastic about it. Look, when this finally got up in this noggin, I went, I am absolutely screwed if something don't give right here. Because I'm going to keep putting. That's going to keep getting worse. Those are going to keep getting worse. And I think I got some fucking problems now. Wait till I keep doing that. Now, when I saw it, look, for people like me, you may not be like me. A little window opens up, and it's called the truth. And I get a little glimpse of the truth, and it doesn't stay open very long. Now, when you come in here, I help you open that damn window, because I tell you the truth. And most of y'all don't want to hear the truth. Now, you got to figure out is, do you want help? Now, let's talk about results. How long you been shooting dope? The results that you get, are they horrendous? How'd you like that word, horrendous? I can't even fucking spell it. But how many of y'all in here, the results you get are horrible. And the only way you can deal with shit is to put one back in, which sets this circus off. You end up back on a spree, and you keep adding on top of. Look, you gotta make a stand. You gotta make a stand. And you gotta say enough is enough. Don't like that asshole. I'm gonna do what he says. And look, when I was sitting where you're sitting, the people that were telling me about this, I really didn't care that much for them. But they had something that I wanted. Just like the dope man, when he's got something I want, me and him like thick as thieves. But as soon as he won't front me some, I don't like him anymore. Now, when they told me about this, this was what I thought. I said, I'm going to do what they say, exactly what they say, because I do not want any more of. I'm going to do what they say, and if it doesn't work, I'm coming back up to this bitch, and I'm going to tell them, y'all are full of shit. Now, I came back up here, but I came back up here to run it. Now, I make a deal with people all the time. You do what we say for 1 year. Look, you do what we say for 1 year. And if you don't like the results, bring me your big book back, and I will refund all of your misery. Every bit of it. Now, I quit counting about 25,000 people. That's how many I've treated. And I quit counting a long time ago. I've never had one person bring me their big book back. Because if they're doing this, guess what they would never dream of bringing me back? Their big book. And if they're not doing it, they can't find a bitch to bring it back to me anyway. That's why I've never had one taker. Now, what you gotta figure out, and I can't do it for you, do you want some help? Now, after what you just went through, I don't know what it would take for you to want to come over here and do everything we say. I really don't know what it would take. How many of y'all, when the obsession gets a hold of you, it's a wrap. You're gonna use. And nobody, no judge, no probation officer, no wife, no kid, no dog could keep you from the first one. Now, what sets everything off? What sets it off? What sets it off? Huh?
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Just pay attention. I asked you that because I see you in La La Land somewhere. Look, I need your head and your butt in this seat. Not just your butt. Your butt and now, what sets everything off? Okay, the first one, if you never put this in, you'll never set this circus off in your life. Now, why do you keep putting the first one in? Whoa. Why do you keep putting it in?
Like to get high.
Raise your hand if you don't like to get high. Raise your hand if you do not like to get high.
It's the mental obsession.
Okay. Now, this is why you keep putting this in. Now, once you put this in, what do you use? Okay, how? When you hit the first one, do you get blown into fucking outer space? Okay, whatever, same thing. Okay. Now, if you could stop right there and enjoy the shit, we wouldn't be talking. But since you have this, you can't do that. So you got to find another way to get high or the same kind of feeling, right? Look, I'm telling you, if you don't come up with another solution, you're going back to the old one, even though you don't want to. So the time that you have here, in my opinion, is very limited. They don't give us a lot of time to work with y'all. So the time that we have you is very critical. That's why I tell you, don't be late, even if you have coffee on your pants. Now, this right here, this is the crux of the problem. Now, I started drinking and drugging at 11. The last time I put one in, I was 39. You count them up. A lot of years I used. And a lot of times I used when I did not want to. And I never could get that out of my head. And I tried everything. Now, I didn't know I was trying to get this out of my head because I didn't know nothing about a fucking obsession. Well, when I came in here and they explained this, I went, well, no wonder your solutions didn't work. Now, I tried just putting it down. I'm done. I'm fucking done. That failed and failed miserably. I was threatened by the legal system. I knew that would fucking work. That failed and failed even worse. I was threatened by family, ex-wife, kids, employer, ex-employer. Hell, I even threatened my own self. How many of y'all in here? Everything you've been trying to do is to get this out your head. Look, if you didn't have an obsession to use heroin, guess what you would never put in? Now, me and you both know you would give your right leg not to use again, wouldn't you? Because see, look, you know, when I hear somebody like, say heroin for me again.
Heroin?
Yeah, I love that shit. I roommated with a guy from New Orleans. I was about 2 days into treatment. I said, hey man, what you using? Heron. I went, what the fuck is that? Look, how many of y'all in here? You come in here. I want you to be honest. You come in here. We try to drill this in your head and we talk about it almost. And how many of y'all go? Man, come on. Fall asleep again. Madison. How many of y'all? Come on. Look, I want you to listen to this. If somebody is growing in anything God creates, it either grows or it dies. Now, you've been dying for a long time, but we got to water your ass again. We got to get you growing. Now, if somebody's growing even this much every day, every time they grow a little bit, they change. And if you change every day the same information, you should get something different out of it. Because the information didn't change, but you did. So if it stays the same boring shit to you, it ain't us. It's you. And I'm telling you, if you're not growing, you going. Now, how many of y'all youngsters in here? The consequences are just starting. And they're starting some of y'all very severe and swift. How old are you? Already, you got legal people telling you what to do and when to do it, how to do it at 17. Just think if you stay here, where you going to be at 27. You know, I've seen people start coming into treatment at 18, 19, and I see them 20 years later and I go, man, I know you. I can't remember. And they tell me their name and I go, oh my God. I mean, a beautiful person at 20. Now they look like, no, shit would be nice. How many of y'all, older ones, if you could have stopped way back when, before you had to figure it out for yourself, you would have took that ticket back in if you could go back now. See, they can't. You can. You can. What's wrong with you today? I don't look. I'm saying what's wrong with you today? What about you? If you could go back and change some things, well, you wouldn't have to deal with me anymore. Well, I think that's about the first time I ever seen you smile. Garrett, if you could go back the first time you ever came to treatment with us, would you have grasped on to this? If you could see what was going to happen. See, they don't have that choice anymore. Some of y'all do. Now, this is where we're going to do all our work with you if you let us. We can't do it without your help. Now, let's just say for shits and giggles, Matt, you didn't have that anymore. Let's say they did fucking brain surgery on you and they got rid of the obsession, right? Okay. Guess what you would never do again? Huh? Yeah. Because if you didn't have that, you'd never put. Now, we really don't want to do brain surgery because I don't know if we would find much. Look, how many of y'all, when you think about what I just asked and you go, man, that sounds pretty drastic. It is, but this isn't. Now, what kind of results are you getting in your life up to this point? Great or disastrous? Yeah. Now, how old are you physically? When's the last time you actually lived life?
10 years.
Yeah. And living life is pretty cool. Yeah. Existing in it and watching everybody else live fucking sucks. Look, I know, have we ever met? I don't know, you do it. I'm telling you about how I used to be. And when I see some of the facial expressions, I go, yeah, he's like I used to be. So you know what that tells me about you? If you like I used to be, there's help for you. I want y'all to turn y'all's big books to page 45. I'll tell you what, let's go to page 44. I'm going to start at the top of that page. Start reading from, look, I want y'all to listen to this. When you read out of the big book called Alcoholics Anonymous, that's that book that you got. Don't change any words. If you take words out or you add words to it, it changes the whole meaning of what they're trying to get across to you. So when we ask you to read out of the big book, just take your time, read it loud, read it clear, don't add any words, and don't take any out. Read it exactly like it said. Good. Read it loud.
In the preceding chapters, you read something about.
Look up here. It says in the preceding chapter, doctor's opinion, Bill's story, there is a solution, and more on alcoholism. How many chapters is that?
4.
Says you've learned something of. This is what they've been trying to get across to you in 4 chapters. Now, so we don't leave anybody behind. They're going to sum up 4 chapters in about 3 sentences. Go.
We hope we have made clear the distinction between the alcoholic and the non-alcoholic. When you honestly want to, you find you cannot.
Okay, go back and read it exactly like it says. Go.
If when you honestly want to, find you cannot quit entirely.
Look up here. When you honestly want to, you find you cannot quit entirely. That is the obsession. Go.
Or if when drinking, you have little control over the amount you take.
Look up here. Once you put one in, you have little control over the amount you're going to use. That's the allergy. Now, what have they been trying to tell you in 4 chapters? Have an obsession that makes you keep putting. You have an allergy of the body. Once you start, it's on like Donkey Kong. That's what they're trying to get across to you. Go.
Or probably an alcoholic.
Now, why do you think they say you probably alcoholic? Why don't you think? Why do you think they just don't go? Hey, you damn alcoholic, girl. Look,
They weren't honest.
this is a self-diagnosed disease. We can't help you if you say, I ain't got that. You gotta say. You gotta say. That's me. Go.
If that be the case, you may be suffering from an illness which only a spiritual experience can conquer.
Now, it says if this is the case, look, you suffering, and boy, is your ass suffering. And what you suffering from is a illness. Look, if you have this allergy, it's an illness. Nobody can fault you from having it. If you had cancer and you went home and told your family, I got cancer, would they be mad at you?
No.
If you told them, I got cancer, but I ain't taking that damn treatment, what would they say?
Every man.
Yeah. Now, look, you got cancer. You got to take the damn treatment. And if you don't, they need to get mad at you. Keep reading.
Feels he is an atheist or agnostic, such an experience seems impossible. But to continue as he is means disaster.
Now, it says, to continue as you are means disaster. Now, I want you to listen to this. If you study that book, don't just read it, study it. They keep telling you the same shit over and over. They just spin it around. They use different words, so you'll think you're learning something new. But they give you the same two options all through the book. Stay here or join us. And that's your two damn options. Now, he told you, continue as he is, which means go.
Especially if he is an alcoholic of the hopeless variety.
Now, especially if he's an alcoholic of the hopeless variety. Look, hopeless and different words that mean. Now, see us alcoholics who's not here, we over here now, we not like you no more. Now, how many of y'all, if people knew how, take your thinking and put it into words, they would know just how hopeless you feel sometimes. And you bebop around here like everything is fucking fine. And inside, you dying on the vine. If we could open you up and look inside, we would go. Girl. And you won't tell nobody, will you? Will you? I mean, what would they think of me? Believe me, it'd be better what they think of you now. Go. Look up here. To be doomed to an alcoholic death, they saying the same thing, different words. Go.
To live on a spiritual basis.
Look up here. Or to live on a spiritual basis of life. Now, how many alternatives did they give you? Huh? What? No, they didn't. Unless two's the fucking lot. Look, they keep telling you the same thing over and over. Stay here or come here. That's not a lot. Go.
Not always easy to fix.
Keep going.
But it isn't so difficult. About half our original fellowship were of exactly that type.
Look, how many of y'all come in here, okay? And when we tell you, look, man, it's going to take a spiritual solution to solve your little problem. How many of y'all go, oh, well, that sucks. Look, when I came in here, I didn't want to hear shit about God. I didn't want to hear nothing about no spiritual shit. I didn't want to hear nothing like that. All I wanted to know, how are y'all going to help me with this? Now, how many of y'all come in here and when we start talking to you about a spiritual awakening, if somebody asked, tell me your first name again? Patrick. Patrick, if somebody said, Patrick, what's a spiritual awakening? What would you say?
Oh, it's bullshit.
A bunch of bullshit. Look, you, me, and just about everybody who's ever come into Alcoholics Anonymous has said the same thing. Now, have you ever taken the steps so you don't? No. Now, you ever did heroin? So you? No. Now, look up here. You know, right? You don't really know. Right? You know? You don't know. Now, what you know, do you want some more of that? So, it don't really leave you, bud. Now, when somebody says, man, I had a spiritual awakening, dude. What would you think something religious, God? Look, how many of y'all think y'all gonna have to become nuns? But we pray, all of us, every night. That never happens. Does it mean you got to go help the Pope hand out communion on Sunday? We sure as fuck hope that don't happen. You'd steal all the silver and everything in the church. Look, this is what a spiritual awakening is. It's nothing more and nothing less. It's a rearrangement up here. Instead of me being a dishonest person, which I know none of y'all are, I start to practice rigorous honesty, especially with myself. Because when I'm honest with me, I can be honest with. How many of y'all, since you live a lie, just about everything that comes out your mouth is a lie? And it comes out so freely, you believe it. And when somebody who operates on the truth tells you the truth, you go. Now, a spiritual awakening. When I get involved in the fellowship and I take the steps, I get a little rearrangement up here. It's like something new comes in up here and it pushes the old shit. Now, when the new personality starts coming in, it pushes the old one. And when the old personality goes, that bitch goes with it. Now, do I have, you see wings in my back? I'm not an angel. I promise you. My wife tells me that every day. Look, somebody has a spiritual awakening. It just means their personality has changed. What they used to think was right, they look at it and go, oh, what the hell was I thinking? Look, if you study the book, which I know y'all all have, in Bill's story, Bill says, common sense thus becomes uncommon sense. What I used to think was right, now I look at it and go, what in the fuck was you thinking? Common sense, my old common sense has become uncommon to me today. Do I walk around handing out communion? I don't. Do I do the next thing right? I try very hard today. I'm not perfect. Now, does that sound like such a bad thing? Huh? What about it? Yeah. See, how many of y'all come in here and you go, I'm not going to do that? Well, look, if you're not going to do this, you're going to do this. Now, do you think I came in a treatment center like this with little jingle bells on my ankles going, woo, shit, I get to have a spiritual awakening? You think I did that? I did not. But you know what got me interested in this? The alternative was, you want some more of that action? You want some more of that action? You want to go back out and use them? Huh? Okay, well, look, you got to come on over here with us here. And the good thing for you, if you want to come over here with us, you in the right place for fucking once. Because you ain't been in the right place in a long time, have you? Boy, it's crazy how God will put you right where you want to be sometimes. Keep reading.
First, some of us tried to avoid the issue, hoping against hope. We were not true.
Look, how many of y'all come in here and we explain this to you and you go, oh, fuck. And then you say, well, but maybe not. I mean, I do heroin. I drink. I mean, you know, how many of y'all come in here and you hope against hope? There's some other way you can do this without having to come here. Now, that's what you've been trying to do. And it has failed and failed miserably. Go.
After a while, we had to face the fact.
Look at here. It says, after a while, getting your ass kicked some more, you're going to have to face the fact. How many alternatives did they give you? Yeah. See what happens when you listen? It's amazing. Go.
We must find a spiritual basis of life, or else.
Look at here. We must find a spiritual basis of life, or else. They didn't give you 10 or else's. Look, how many of y'all come in here? Y'all been here a couple of days, a week, 2 weeks. This bitch has come back on, sober. And now all of a sudden, you have a bunch of decisions to make. All of a sudden, you have more business than the president of the United States does. When really you've missed it again. You have two choices. And when you first come in here, you do not like either one. Now, you're not alone. Every one of us have felt that. We don't want no more of that, but we really don't want that. So some people who really knew what they were talking about, they asked me, well, bro, let's talk about facts. What's this doing for you, your life, your family, and everything above? That is taking it. It's sucking the life out of me. Okay? Do you know what this can do? No, I don't. Now, I'm looking at them and I'm going, look, man, I know what this is going to get me. I know. I don't want no more of that. Nothing could be as bad as what happened to me over here. This is no way it could be like that. So I'm going. I'm gonna do what the fuck they say. I mean, what else I got to do while I'm here? See, if you would give this what you gave this, we couldn't get your fucking ass out of here when it was time to leave. How many of y'all, without a second thought, shit that's killing you, your family, everything you care about, you all in? You all in. You come in here and we trying to get you something that's going to save your life. And I ask you a basic question. You go, what? What'd you say? A bunch? Look, how many of y'all come in here? I got your butt, but your mind is in Mississippi somewhere. Keep reading.
Perhaps it is going to be that way with you.
But cheer up.
Cheer up. Something like half of us thought we were atheists or agnostic.
Look, most of y'all come in here and y'all get caught up with this right here. That one word. How many of y'all? That one word you got. Well, I have a right hand seat on the side of him already. Or some of y'all are the completely opposite going, I don't know about that yet. Whatever side you think you're on, take this God idea and just put it to the side. Just put you another row in there and do good. Just do good. Now, when you come in here, I think step 3 should be read like this. I made a decision to turn my will of life over to the care of God as I misunderstood him. Because that's what most of y'all do. Just like, how many of y'all, that word right there, been struggling with it a long time? That's why, put that spirit in. You see that shit you putting in you? It's a spirit. Just in a needle. Boy, you ain't got no problem doing that, do you? Keep reading.
Our experience shows that you need not be disconcerted.
Now, it says our experience. The ones that used to be like you, and we're not here anymore, we over here. Our experience shows you need not be disconcerted. What that means is, don't get your little drawers in an uproar. Look, just go. Just chill. Look, just chill. How many of y'all so uptight? If somebody walked up behind you and went, ah, you'd have a heart attack. Keep reading.
If a mere code of morals or a better philosophy, life were sufficient to overcome alcoholism, many of us would have recovered long ago.
Now, how many of y'all come in here and you have these morals, Justin, of how everybody should behave, right? And you can't even live up to them. How many of y'all in here, you want everybody else to be considerate? How many of y'all? How many of y'all want everybody else to be honest? How many of y'all want everybody else to think of others? But your ass won't do it. See, you have these, hurry up. What? How many of y'all have these morals and you think, I'm up here and the rest of the world is down here? Now, when somebody's like that, they have this thing called the evening up process. And God will cut your ass down to size. I used to think, you need to be honest, not me. Do you know who I am? See, I thought I was up here, fucking crackhead, and you are. That's the way I looked at people. Now, I know none of y'all in here are like that, Matt. Justin? Huh? Yep. Now, have you been getting your ass cut down to size? Huh? Ain't whistling Dixie here. Have y'all ever thought of that before? Most of you, if you do, you get a glimpse and thought and you go, oh, fuck that phone. Keep reading.
We found that such codes and philosophies did not save us, no matter how much we tried. We could wish to be moral, we could wish to be
Philosophically.
In fact, we could will these things with all of our might.
But the needed power wasn't. Now, how many times have you said, we'll get my shit together. I ain't living like that no more. How many times? Not a few. Now, when you said, I'm going to get my shit together, you did it for about a fucking day, maybe 2, right? But guess why you couldn't sustain it? Guess why you couldn't sustain it? The needed power wasn't there. You keep trying to do it on your own power, and it ain't gonna work. Never, ever, never, ever. That's what you've been trying to do. But I want y'all to close your book. I want you to listen to this. I used to think that they hold you, Madison. Don't worry about the clock. Look, how many of y'all, how I used to be, I thought if you relied on something, a power, it made you somewhat weak or cowardly. I know none of y'all in here are like that. Now, electricity, is that a power greater than you? I guarantee if you took a paper clip and you undid it and you went and stuck it in that receptacle, it would knock you on your ass. It's a power. Now, by you relying on electricity, does it make you more independent? Yeah. Look, when I rely on the power of electricity, does it make me more independent? Yeah, I can wash my clothes, put my fucking meat in the refrigerator, it don't spoil. It makes me more independent. I used to think depending on a power made me sort of weak and cowardly. Now, this other power, COD, by me relying on that power, it actually makes me more independent. By depending on it, it makes me more independent. Now, that don't even sound right, does it? By depending on something, it makes me more independent. Now, by me depending on that power, it makes me more independent. I'm a damn son today. I'm a son. I'm not something that when my parents hear my voice go, "Throne, what do you need now?" Oh my. By me depending on that power, it actually makes me more independent. I'm a husband today. No matter what the hell y'all hear on Facebook and here in this treatment center. How many of y'all, by being more dependent on God, it makes me more, I can be a brother. A brother. So when I rely on something, it actually makes me more independent. Now, how many of y'all have been dependent on self? So it makes you very, very limited. And y'all walk around here like y'all the shit. Now, this shit boils down to two things. Look, two. It boils down to your ass being here, and it boils down to you getting here. Now, we know why you're here, because of the obsession, and the way you're going to get here is by getting involved in the fellowship and taking the steps. Now, I am not around the fellowship of AA. I am in it. And I have taken the steps like the first 103 pages of the book have said, and I have had a personality change. Now, I got some yesterday. Did that young man leave? I figured he was. It was written all over his face. Look, when y'all heard me talking to him, and he's telling me about all the loss he experienced, and that's why he went back out and used, I went, my God, thank God I was over here before my mother died, my brother died, my sister died, my nephew died. Thank God I was here, because I would have did the same thing. If you got the power, that would never happen. Now, Unbeknownst to him, who's gone, he's helped a lot of people in here. See, no matter what you've been through, you can help people. You can help them. But most of us are so selfish and self-centered, all we want to worry about is I shit. How I feel and what I'm going through. Instead of going, hey man, I know somebody else feels like that. We put my pride and ego to the side and tell them what happened to me. You see, you can help a lot of people. See you. See you. Comments. Look, do yourself a favor. The next time you come in here, before you come in here, after you poo-poo and pee-pee, say yourself a little prayer. Say, God, don't really like his ass. Please let me make myself ready to at least hear what's going on. Because if you don't really like me, you really don't want to come back, huh? All right, anybody got a comment? Now's the time. Comment or question?
Sound like you can Google it.
I know. Look, I know you did. I know you did. Now, you didn't when you was up here. Did you? Come on, be honest. I know. I know. She's probably going, what's wrong with him? Questions? Anybody? How many of y'all have laughed since you've been in here? Sober. Sober, huh? I forgot what that feels like, huh? To laugh sober, huh? Makes you damn muscles in your face hurt. Y'all pack up first and y'all head out. See, that wasn't that bad, was it? You wasn't thinking that when you first walked in here, was you?